Imagine this. You are in the Agora of ancient Athens, and a man named Socrates is dismantling every certainty you hold about love, virtue, and your own mind. He turns to you, his gaze piercing, and asks not about politics or the gods, but about the one thing you pray remains unquestioned: your value as a woman. He whispers a truth that echoes through the centuries, a truth so volatile it was the real reason he was sentenced to drink hemlock. It wasn't for corrupting the youth. It was for revealing the one conversation that dismantles the very architecture of female power as the world has sold it to you. What if the most dangerous man to any system is not a tyrant, but a question? What is the single terrifying question about your own identity, your desirability, your very soul that you have been meticulously taught to avoid? The answer does not lie in a dating strategy or a self-help mantra. It is a philosophical poison, an acid that burns through the gilded cage. This is the forbidden dialogue. This is the only video women pray you never see. If this truth resonates with you, subscribe. The most dangerous dialogues are yet to come. The cage is not made of iron, but of ideas. For centuries, a grand narrative has been sold to women, a story where your worth is a currency to be earned in the eyes of others. The philosopher Jean-Paul Sartre named this hell. Hell is other people. He meant we trap ourselves in the perceived judgments of those around us, becoming prisoners of a gaze not our own. You have been conditioned to seek your reflection in a distorted mirror, one polished by societal expectation, romantic validation, and the relentless pressure to be both sacred and desirable. Carl Jung would call this the trap of the persona, the mask you wear so perfectly it fuses to your skin. You are taught to cultivate an image, to become the masterpiece everyone admires. But the true self, the authentic, wild, and flawed individual, is buried alive. This is the psychological root of the silence. The system depends on you never asking Socrates' dangerous question, because the answer would shatter the mirror. It would force you to stop being an object of perception and become the perceiver, the sole judge of your own existence. But what is the terrifying cost of living within this silent agreement? The consequences are not what you think. The consequence is a phantom life. You become an echo of a song you never chose to sing, your actions dictated by an invisible script. Every choice, from the clothes you wear to the relationships you endure, is subtly filtered through this single unspoken question. Does this make me valuable to them? This is the neurological trap of external validation, a dopamine-driven loop where you chase likes, glances, and compliments, only to find the hunger returns, sharper each time. Your reality becomes a hall of mirrors, reflecting not who you are, but who you need to be to feel seen. This silent shaping leads to a profound existential debt. The cognitive dissonance between your performed self and your buried soul creates a low-grade hum of anxiety, a feeling of being a fraud in your own skin. You feel a vague emptiness, a haunting sense that your life is a performance for an audience that was never really watching. You have traded the terrifying freedom of self-definition for the comfortable cage of being defined. But this cage has no door, only endlessly reflecting walls. The rebellion, then, is not about breaking out. It is about something far more radical. The rebellion begins not with a roar, but with a silence, the deliberate, deafening silence you create when you withdraw the audience. This is the Socratic turn inward. It is the radical, counterintuitive act of ceasing to ask, "What am I to them?" and beginning the terrifying inquiry, "What am I to myself?" This is not a journey of adding another layer to your persona, but of archaeological excavation. You must, as the Stoics practiced, differentiate between what is within your control, your character, your judgments, your integrity, and what is not, which is everything and everyone else. This is how you shatter the hall of mirrors. You stop polishing the glass and instead turn to face the vast, uncharted territory of your own soul. It requires the courage of a Viktor Frankl, who in the depths of the concentration camps realized that the last of human freedoms is to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances. Your power lies not in controlling how you are seen, but in relentlessly authoring who you are. This is the revolutionary act, to build your citadel on the unshakable ground of your own self-defined values. But this leads to the final, most profound truth of all. The ultimate truth is this: the gilded cage was never locked. The door was open all along. Your own hands polished the bars, mistaking the reflection for reality. The final Socratic revelation is that the they you sought to appease was a ghost, a phantom you empowered with your own breath. Your authentic self was not waiting to be discovered, but to be chosen, moment by moment, from the rubble of discarded masks. This is the paradigm shift. You were never a prisoner of society, but a prisoner of your own need for its validation. This is the hemlock they feared, the understanding that true power is the willingness to be misunderstood, to be undesirable, to stand alone in your own truth. It is the terrifying, exhilarating weight of absolute authorship. The masterpiece is not the persona you curated, but the raw, unvarnished life you now dare to live. So I leave you with this question, not to answer to me, but to whisper to the ghost in your own mind. If you are no longer an object to be seen, but the sovereign subject who sees, what will you choose to create? But here's the thing. Women are not just victims. They're also leaders, innovators, and change makers. They're pushing back against these challenges, creating solutions, and supporting one another. And that's where hope comes in. When women come together, sharing their stories and supporting one another, that's when the real magic happens. That's when we start to see shifts in perspective, new solutions emerge, and real change starts to take shape. There was a moment that stood out to me. A group of women from different backgrounds and industries came together to create a support network for women in their community. It was amazing to see how they were able to create a safe space for women to share their struggles and find support. In reflecting on the power of hope and community among women, it's clear that when we support one another, we can overcome even the toughest challenges. If you're watching this and have your own story or thoughts, I'd love to hear them. Leave a comment below and let's keep the conversation going. And if you're interested in more content like this, check out my other video on my channel. I think you'll really enjoy it.